Luffy is not gonna sit around quietly whilst his future territory is being taken over. However, as the gang continue through the castle, Luffy finds the guards knocked out on the floor, meaning they are not alone, foreshadowing the eventual clash with the God's Knight, Shamrock and Gunko. Speaking of, we move back to the underworld as Gunko continues to attack Loki, who can't move at all due to the sea prism chain that are tying him down. But with Loki continuing to reject the God Knight's invitation to join them, Gunko activates her arrow powers that marks the trajectory of attacks. Now, from the first glance, it seems that her powers is very similar to Imu's arrow attack that we saw against Sabo. However, despite it literally coming from the pits of darkness, it's later confirmed that she has the arrow oro no mi, which is the human arrow fruit. With this, she literally can manipulate her body by wrapping her body with the arrows, extending her appendages, and of course by using Haki, it becomes pretty deadly. She showcases another ability which sets a predetermined trajectory that cannot be dodged or stopped unless she deactivates her powers, and she says she'll only do that if Loki accepts their offer and becomes a celestial dragon. But my guy ain't having none of it. He continues to disrespect the duo, rejecting them, to which Gunko attacks commences exactly as predicted, eventually knocking him out cold.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Alongside the giant animals that tried to defend him. As remember, earlier he planned to exchange the keys to his chains for information on Shanks. Luffy's partnership with Loki will play an important role for the story, as rather than Shanks, the true protector of Elbaf has to be the sun god Nika, meaning Luffy will take it under his territory. Once freed, Loki will likely redeem himself, either dying in battle or accepted by the others, with Luffy being the mediator. So what does this mean for Luffy's fight with Shanks' twin and the Great Elbaf War? Well, One Piece chapter 1137 begins with Luffy and the gang arriving at Oda's castle in the Western Village. After making a deal with Loki to find the keys to his shackles in exchange for information on Shanks, Luffy is on a quest to find the keys. This castle is said to have never been used since King Harold's death 14 years ago. This means that if Loki left the sea right after, he would have been a pirate for around 8 years or so before Shanks slapped him up and brought him back to be locked up. But it's also hinted that this castle is where the royal family resided, which begs the question, if the royal castle is located in the sun world, what the hell exists in the heavens? Maybe another palace with connections to the ancient kingdom of Joy Boy's time. Regardless, what makes things suspicious is that the castle door is damaged and the guards are missing. But as Zoro notices, what makes things even more weird is that it was broken from the inside, which as we know is the work of the God's Knight. But this begs the question, why did they summon in this castle and not elsewhere in the kingdom? A theory I have is that this ability only works in a place where they or Imu recognizes or have been in, meaning this castle has a lot of history. But one which Rodo goes into is that of the fierce battle which took place many years ago, resulting in King Harold's death. Yep, his murder happened right here in this very castle. When the gang enters, things start to make even more sense as they arrive at a literal giant's graveyard. And all of this was because of Loki. His insane power and likely big brain tactics allowed him to kill over 100 plus giants, where in the end only Yarul survived, though he was still left with a lifelong sword in his head. But the whole castle looks torn apart, with rubbles, corpses and swords laying to waste. Rodo literally states that Loki being a monster and King Harold, known as a great warrior, meant that the moment the battle took place, the fate of the castle had been decided. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, but if you guys want to watch more Peak Fiction, then make sure to watch this video next.